Today I am talking about courage. A big and simple life does not mean a small, broke, or boring one. Simple doesn't mean poor, and big doesn't mean busy. Do you aspire to an uncomplicated and fulfilling way of life? I'm Diane Squires, aka Deanne. That's what all my friends call me. I'm an island woman living on the island of Barbados and walking my path to a big and simple life. Walk with me and learn with me. Welcome to the Island Woman Podcast. Before I get into today's topic, which I promise you will be short but very sweet and probably long overdue, I want to say a big thank you to all of you for listening, watching, commenting, subscribing, sending me private messages, and doing all the wonderful things. It has been very encouraging. So thank you, thank you, thank you. This 12th episode closes out season 1 of the podcast. But don't worry, we will be back with season 2 in about a month's time. I'm already working on the content for it, and you can expect to see and hear from not just me, but some of the people I respect, admire, and want to learn from. So that's coming up in season 2 of the Island Woman podcast. Also, stay tuned to the YouTube channel during the season break because I will continue to share content there. Big thank you to my video editing partner, Made Alive Design & Co. for sponsoring this episode and the Clarity series, which wrapped up last week. I'll link that here. But if you're looking for a partner to help you tell your story, share your work, or promote your products visually, I highly recommend Made Alive Design & Co. for dynamic motion graphics and on-point video editing. I'll leave all their information in the show notes and in the YouTube description box. All right, I promised you short and sweet and something long overdue. Today I am talking about courage, but it's about the courage to live a big and simple life. Sometime last year, a good friend told me that she'd always admired my courage. Until then, I hadn't known that. She said she admired the fact that if I said something was or wasn't for me, that was it. I was going to move in the direction I set for myself. But I've never looked at any of my decisions as courageous. In many of those moments, I was likely feeling a great deal of fear. And I was probably being very naive, if I'm to be honest. That was the case when I resigned from my job many years ago to pursue a dance fellowship, even though I was already over the age of 20. That's considered old in professional dance terms if you're just starting out an intensive dance training program. It was also the case when I pursued my master's degree in the UK, leaving my 3-year-old son for close to a year in the care of relatives. And it was the case when I moved away from a corporate role to independent consulting. None of those decisions felt courageous. I simply felt driven to make moves to become the future me I was envisioning. Believe me, there was a lot of internal feuding about whether or not I had made the right decisions. I was scared about doing all of those things, scared of how people would view me, scared that I was making not just bad decisions, but big bad decisions, and that things wouldn't work out as I wanted them to. But I did them anyway. And, I suppose that really is the idea of courage, doing something even though it scares you. But as we all know, there is a fine line between courage and stupidity, depending on the outcome. If things go well, if they're perceived as going for the better, then what you did would be viewed as courageous. If things go the other way, well, then comes the judgment. And so for each of those debatably courageous decisions I made, I can cite the positive and the negative elements. But overwhelmingly, I would conclude that they created a firm, positive sense of who I am. And so now in this era of my life, I'm continuing to balance that line between courage and stupidity, doing things that scare me and envisioning a positive outcome. Can I live a big and a simple life? That seems like an awkward combination, but that's my goal. Is it courageous or stupid? But first, I should clarify what I mean by big and simple. A big and simple life does not mean a small, broke, or boring one. No, no, no. Simple doesn't mean poor, and big doesn't mean busy. So, what do I mean by big? Big means healthy, wholesome, financially resilient, experiencing work and play that brings me joy while it challenges me. The bigness is in how things make me feel in my life. If it fills me up with good energy, it's big. And then what do I mean by simple? Well, simple means keeping life, work, and living as pared back and as straightforward as possible. I want to reduce physical and mental clutter in my space and my life wherever I can. And professionally, it means digging in deeply on those things that I'm great at to foster mastery while having a good time doing it. In my life, especially at this stage, I'm not trying to be pulled in a million different directions. That has happened before. It's not manageable. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't make sense. So I'm just going to keep things simple. Simple in the way I dress, in the way I speak, in the way I entertain, in the way I decorate my home, in the way I do many, many things in my life. I think wanting a big and a simple life is innately my way of being. As an entrepreneur, that's the way it will be. As a partner, that's the way it will be. As a mom, that's the way it will be. Big and simple means I'm not going to be carried away by consumerism for the sake of status, but I will by quality. Big and simple means when it comes to beauty, I'm going to take what I have and elevate it. Not by buying a ton of beauty products, but by staying attuned to my health, eating well, staying active, and investing in one or two products that work for me. Big and simple means that I have to ignore how I believe others may perceive me and just do me anyway. Because trying to be someone else is just too complex, and I'm trying to keep things simple. So, what do you think? Courageous or stupid, this concept of a big and simple life? What are you aspiring to? What is driving your decisions? Let me know in the comments. I promise you short and sweet. That's a wrap for season 1, and that's it for this episode. If you made it to the end of the episode with me, thank you so much for taking the time. If you liked it, share it with a friend or leave a comment or both. If you watched it on YouTube, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Remember to click the notification bell to get notified every time a new video goes live. Keep watching on YouTube because I will be there during this season break. That's a reminder. This has been episode 12 of the Island Woman podcast. I'm your Island Woman, Diane Squires, aka Deanne. Until next time, peace.